Hey everyone, it's Lexie. So in today's video I'll be showing you how I budget kind of month to month, week to week. And so this was a system that I created. I just literally created a Word document and then created it in my iPad and looked at my different expenses and everything, as you guys will see. But if you have any questions, if you want to see more kind of budgeting tips on how to kind of like budget when you don't really make a lot of money, let me know. I do definitely in the new year want to make more kind of some like financial videos here or there in the future, but let me know if you want to see more of those, and without further ado, let's get started. Alrighty everyone, so this is a overview of my monthly budget little spreadsheet that I made. I just made it in Microsoft Word and then I exported it into a PDF and put it into GoodNotes. So this is something that I do every month. I've been doing this way since September. I used to do an Excel spreadsheet, but I think it's just easier. I like to have it written down. I feel like I'm more conscientious of like my spending if I write things down. So the big top part that you see here, just like I already plan out when my paychecks are going to be and roughly how much they are each every 2 weeks. And then also I have my little paycheck dates, and so these are days that I know I will get pay dates, and you can see here like November I have 2, but in December I get 3, just the way the months are set up. So I have that roughly planned out, which is useful, so then I kind of know how I need to break things up, if I have to divide it by 3 or 2, how I need to divide it up each month. So next thing after the income is bills. So these are things that I have to kind of pay monthly, and so for insurance it is the same every month. So in the first part I have just like my regular insurance and what I pay for. This next section here that you see is my credit card bills. So once I get my bill, I include the date and how much that I owe. So this way it lets me figure out which paychecks or which pay periods I need to pay what in. And then after the credit cards, these are just like monthly expenses as well in terms of my memberships and everything. So I have my car wash membership, streaming, Spotify, all those things. And I also include the dates that I typically get, you know, the bill in the mail or they take money out of my account, so that I just kind of know. And so then I know which paycheck, again, that it belongs to. Next, these are expenses, and the way I do it, these are like rough ballparks that I want to get for the spending in certain categories. So for me, these main categories right now are gas, eating out, and then spending / Christmas shopping. And so again, I just kind of break that down into the amount that I allot myself for that month, and then how I would break it down between each paycheck. And then finally we have savings accounts. So I've already maxed out my Roth IRA and everything, so that is done. So I can solely focus on the 2 savings accounts. I always put in $100 every month towards an emergency fund just to have that built, and then an Ireland vacation fund as well. Me and my boyfriend are going to take a trip when I finally graduate from school, and so I have that broken down. And if you want to see more videos in the future, I do use like the Mint app, and so I can set savings goals and it tells me how much I need to put into that account every month to meet that goal, which I really like. And it also takes into account all the spending that I do and breaks it down into different categories, which I find very helpful. So I'll kind of go through how I would essentially break down my paycheck into different things. So like I said, each month I already know I put $55 away into my savings account for health insurance, and then the next paycheck goes, I do the same thing just to kind of split it up and make it a little bit easier. So we can see here that I already paid my Amazon credit card bill last pay period, and so for this pay period I have my Venture card, which is $68, and my Capital One credit card as well, so I have that here. And the Barnes & Noble one falls within the second pay period, so I will put that over there as well, just so I know and make sure I'm paying off these bills when I should be. And then again, I do break it down for kind of my memberships as well. So let's quickly do some math here to figure out how much kind of has to go towards billing. Okay, so for this month we have $281, and then, or I guess this pay period, and then for paycheck number 2 will be 91. So this is just an easier way for me to kind of keep track of how much is coming in and out each month for things that I for sure have to pay. And I get the way I do my expenses is that I usually, for most things, I never use cash for anything. I always use my credit card. So I just take into account what I like. So using the Mint app, I can see how much I spent this month. So this is not necessarily I'm putting money aside. This is kind of the ballparks that I need to be aware of, so I don't take it away from my grand total. And so what I have here is, you can see I have like these little dots, and so this is where at the end of the month I can see. So if my goal is to spend $200 in gas, and for whatever reason I'm not driving as much as I normally am in November, let's say I spend $170 on gas, then the remaining 30 I can go towards like a savings account or something like that. So that's what I'm gonna do. So this is for me to be kind of aware of how much I'm spending per pay period. And also my Mint app also keeps track of spending and tells me if I'm under and over budget for the month as well, which is helpful. And then so for savings account, again, this is kind of pretty standard for each month, so I already have that broken down. And so we can kind of see here, well, the way I do it is, so I take my kind of grand total, which is $747. I subtract all the expenses for bills that month, which is $281. And then I also subtract $300, which is what is going into my savings account. And so that leaves me with $166. You can see right here, I just put in parentheses. I like to do it in a different color just so I know, just because my bills were up a little bit for credit cards and all that, just with Christmas shopping. I can't believe it's almost Christmas. So I have $166 kind of remaining in spending money, and for the most part that is just for kind of it's mostly gas money if I'm being honest. So this kind of lets me know what money I have to kind of work with, that I have basically the cash for. And so I find just having kind of a general idea of how much I have for spending and all that stuff, it kind of makes it easier, so I know what I'll be like, oh, I really want that, but I'll kind of be like over budget for kind of paying this off with my credit card in the next statement. So that's kind of, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, this is just a way I find it really helpful to just kind of break everything down, have everything going to separate accounts, kind of break that down, and then what is remaining is kind of what I have to work with for that month. So yeah, this is what I kind of do each month for my paychecks. And this is what is useful too, because we can see in December too, like I have a dentist appointment in February I have here, and that's roughly $470. So I can add that into kind of my savings, and so I can put money aside each paycheck and just be aware of that. So for expenses that I have coming up, I can already plan ahead and kind of stay on top of things like that. So I find this really helpful, and yeah, I hope you find this useful as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Let me know if you want to see more of these financial related videos kind of sporadically spread out in the future. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys.